Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, what's my brethren in the great city of Brooklyn, New York? Shout out to Brooklyn, New York. Speaking of Brooklyn, New York, speaking of New York City, a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York City. Speaking of Puerto Ricans, we got, I don't know. There's a case, I know you got Danny Garcia, but I don't know. There's a case to be made because who I'm talking about has been doing some unprecedented things as far as Puerto Rican boxing goes, and maybe this person hasn't had the recognition. But I feel like I'm gonna give her some recognition on the channel today. She's fighting on the undercard of Andre Berta versus Sean Porter, and we're talking about none other than Amanda Serrano. In my opinion, and maybe people in the YTBC in boxing at large, they don't follow women's boxing, but based on her accomplishments, based on how she's accomplished them, in my opinion, she's a living legend. In my opinion, this is my opinion, because when you think of Puerto Rico, the island has produced so many great fighters. Which we talk about Miguel Cotto, Wilfredo Gomez, Wilfred Benitez, Felix Trinidad. The list goes on and on. We can sit here into a blue in the face and just name great Puerto Rican fighters. Amanda Serrano, she's shooting to make a little bit of history this week. She's gonna be attempting to become the first Puerto Rican in the history of boxing to capture a world title in 5 different weight classes. She'll be taking on a girl by the name of Dahania Santana. Dahania Santana has a record of 35 wins, 8 losses, 14 KOs. She is from the Dominican Republic, and this is for the vacant WBO world title. So, going to be interested to see if she can do it. Amanda Serrano, let's talk about Amanda Serrano for a second. When we talk about Amanda Serrano, we're talking about somebody who obviously, if you go and you do your homework on her, she's someone that has good amateur pedigree. She's won the New York City Golden Glove. She's been an amateur champion. So clearly she has good, pure, fundamental boxing skills. And you see that when you watch her fight. That probably should be one of the first things that jumps off the page when you watch Amanda Serrano fight. But a lot of female fighters have amateur pedigree. A lot of female fighters have good technical ability. I feel like some of the female fighters in boxing, and I'm talking about the A level, the best fighters in female boxing, are some of the most technically sound fighters in all of boxing. To be quite honest with you, like Serrano is one of them, Cecilia Breakus is one of them. They really are technically sound, but they don't have the punching power that there's no disrespect. A lot of them, you have anomalies like Lucia Riker, and you have Ann Wolf, and Serrano can punch as well. But for the most part, most of the women's boxers, they don't really punch that hard. And that's not me hating, that's just a fact. With that being said, Amanda Serrano has exhibited great boxing ability in most of her fights. She's 31 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 23 knockouts. That's a 70% knockout percentage. No small feat for a women's boxer. I would challenge you guys to go look at how many women's boxers are even pushing a knockout percentage of 50%, let alone 70%. So she's been winning in dominant fashion, and she's won titles at super bantamweight, featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight. Now she's trying to win a title at bantamweight. But Serrano, really, you gotta really put that in perspective. You got Cotto, Benitez, a lot of great Puerto Rican fighters, and if she can get the job done, she will be the first Puerto Rican fighter, male or female, to have a world title in 5 weight classes, and that's not something that should be taken lightly. I think that's something that should be celebrated. Maybe, and it's not a maybe. It's definite. It's a definite fact that in women's boxing, the talent pool maybe isn't as deep. So I would say for the fighters, best fighter in women's boxing, maybe it's a little harder to find tough opposition. I get it, but at the end of the day, you still gotta come to fight. You still gotta get the job done, and she's done it well in impressive fashion. When we talk about Amanda Serrano, we're talking about as far as the last, not just the last 15 to 20 years, but in history of Puerto Rican boxing, one of the best fighters who's ever lived, in my opinion, especially if she can get this done. She sparred with other Puerto Rican great fighters. She sparred with men. Ivan Calderon, the great minimum weight champion, who was the pound for pound fighter for a number of years, the number 1 minimum weight fighter in the world for about a 3-year stretch. She sparred with him. There's a video of it on YouTube. You can go watch that. It's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, man, go check her out. I cover women's boxing on this channel. and she's definitely someone that deserves more coverage because not only is she obviously obviously she's very she's attractive, but she can fight too. Like she can really fight. 70%. There's not a lot of forget women. There's not a lot of guys with a 70% knockout percentage, and to do that while scaling weight classes, very very hard to do because as most of us boxing fans know, your punching power doesn't always carry up or carry back down because there's been times where she's went up and went down in weight. So when your weight fluctuates like that, your punching power doesn't always carry with you. So for her to maintain that, be dominant, only have one loss on her resume, I think it says a lot about who she is as a fighter. And I definitely believe that if she can get this done, it's gonna put her in a position where she's gonna go down. It's not forget Puerto Rican boxers. She's gonna be in a position where we say, "Wow, that was one of the best female fighters who ever lived." And all the best to her. I would encourage anybody who plans on watching the Sean Porter Berto card this week to check it out. I'm not 100% sure if she's going to be on Showtime Extreme or the actual card on Showtime. I'm pretty sure that she might actually be on the regular Showtime now because of the Luis Ortiz-Derek Rossi fight being moved. So check it out. Hopefully this time she had a bit of a hard time last time getting the girl she fought out. She fought Yasmin Rivas, who was a former world champion. Wasn't able to get her out of there, but Yasmin Rivas is very experienced. Not very very hard to get out of there. This girl right here that she's fighting, Miss Santana. She's only been stopped one time, and let's see who she get stopped by. Do I know who she got stopped by? She got stopped by. I don't know who that is. Okay, so anyway, we'll see what happens, but definitely a living legend in my opinion as far as Amanda Serrano goes. 5 weight classes. Ain't too many 5 weight class champions in boxing with a 70% knockout percentage. Not even my favorite fighter in boxing. Romo Gonzalez is my favorite fighter in boxing. He's been a world champion in 4 weight classes. And I highly doubt, as much as I love Roman, I highly doubt it that he'll become a world champion in 5 weight classes because he's already proven that at 115, he's kind of capped out. And 118, I believe, would just be asking too much. And he has an over 70% knockout percentage. But I'm saying, how many? I challenge you guys. How many people in boxing right now are world champion in 5 weight classes with a knockout percentage of 70%? I don't believe there is, and that'll put her in a class by herself, in my opinion. And I know people don't like a lot of women's boxing, and to be fair, everybody has their own cup of tea. I don't watch a lot of women's boxing. I just want to preface that. I watch the top fighters of women's boxing. I like watching the best women's fighters because there really aren't a lot of knockouts in women's boxing, and I like knockouts. Who doesn't love knockouts? But the top women's fighters, I watch them till the cows come home. Cecilia Brækhus, Clarissa Shields, Senicia Estrada, Serrano's another one, Katie Taylor. I watch them all day, every day because I believe, in my opinion, that as far as being technically skilled, they're some of the best fighters in boxing today. And that's my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. I just want to get this out there, show a little love to Amanda Serrano, someone who has not just been winning, but winning in impressive fashion and doing historical things while maintaining a rather high knockout percentage, not just for a man, but definitely for a woman in general. So that's what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Amanda Serrano shoots to become and do what no other Puerto Rican fighter has ever done and become a world champion in 5 weight classes. I think, let's see, Trinidad was a world champion in 3 weight classes. He was a world champion at 147, 154, and 160. Then he lost to Hopkins. And then Cotto, I'm pretty sure, has been a world champion in 4 weight classes. So yeah, it says a lot about what she's attempting to do. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.